Alright guys, we're talking about Pushing Daisies Season 2, Episode 7. So this is ripping right along.
It is ripping right along. That's how I would phrase it.
I get increasingly more worried with every passing episode that we will not get a actual end for this show. In fact, I'm almost sure of it.
I'm almost sure of it too, and honestly, like as we're going through here recording things for this, when we get to Pushing Daisies, I kind of go like, okay, like part of me like does not want to have to go through and talk about the whole thing, just knowing that like it's not getting renewed for another season, and we are not, I think, going to end up in and like every episode has a like formula. We are advancing some long-term plot, but like the formula is the formula, and there's good parts and bad parts, and it is what it is. So I can't, there's not a whole lot to say.
No.
So let's say a whole lot right now.
So where does this episode start?
Oh, we get some more young Ned stuff.
Yeah.
We get some, like, I realized that young Ned never speaks, because in this episode, him and his friend both scream, and it kind of caught me off guard, right? Because he never talks in, like, the flashbacks. It's always the narrator talking and whatever happening. Yeah. But, so that he brings back his friend's pets and stuff happens, whatever. It's him befriending some unlikely, unpopular person, etc.
I wanted there to be some flash forward where that guy still has those pets.
I know, right? Some weird thing
because they would live forever.
They would be immortal pets now that Ned can never touch. I love that the glass cages were like taped back shut in the exact pattern or whatever. Little things like that, little like touches of stuff or whatever. I forget why we did that flashback though. There was some reason.
So he's a charitable guy and something bad at gambling. That was a different episode. I don't know.
Darling.
I don't know, but I forget what that was.
Well, but in the present day, like the case here is relatively convoluted. Like this was one, like if you imagined watching it and taking notes, there was a lot of, and now I just delete the old note, but I used to keep all the notes where I'm like, he said he didn't do it, but then he said she did it. Okay, she didn't do it, but he really did do that part, but that was different though. It turned out that meant this. Like it was very
Robin
convoluted.
Hood character, I was like, what the fuck? Because he went on there's such a ride there of this character from when you first meet him as just like a guy who works in the phone line to when he's like sneaking in the house, but he's altruistic. And
when he's Wesley from Princess Bride and running in there. Yeah, I know, it's weird. And the weirdest part
ultimately being a murderer.
The weirdest part to me is that he says the facts are these, and it's as if the show just wanted me to believe him, because I think for one of the only times they had a character say like the false part, and then we got the reenactment flashback of it, but that was like a lie. Yeah. But it turns out he wasn't lying to cover up the one thing he was covering, right? So it was like, oh man, this is such a thing. This is so much of a thing.
When he did that flip over that girl.
Yeah.
That was interesting. So that girl was from like the Brady Bunch movie.
I googled her.
She was in
when she screams the like Porter, Butler's name or whatever. I laughed at that. Her stupid, because she's like a Valley Girl idiot, whatever thing. Yeah. Her thing of like
there's something about her face
of like
Andrew.
Her like and then Emerson's like doing this one like oh god or whatever. I laughed at that like setup and all that stuff, and then Chuck trying to maintain her composure. What
she has like a face where like I don't know, there's something about it very distinct where like like she pops out, like you could probably put her in makeup and I would recognize just like her eyeballs. Something weird there, like the cold dead eyes of a shark or
cold like a doll's eyes.
She was on some sketch comedy show. I can't remember the name of it on like Channel 11 back in the day. Most recently, I saw her in The Pool Boy with Kevin Sorbo. She played just like random trollop.
I didn't know The Pool Boy with Kevin Sorbo existed.
Kevin Sorbo
I'm much more interested in watching that.
Is a pool boy coming back from Nam who was outraged that the Mexicans have taken over all the pool boy jobs, and he has to fight Danny Trejo's gang and take it back.
Delete. Cut the feed.
It is like an exploitation type.
When
film.
is this from? Is this
2014 or something?
Oh wow! So it's like old Kevin Sorbo.
Yeah,
that's weird. That's really weird. Like as you described it more and more, I thought, okay, this is like a lost gem from like back in the day. Oh
this
damn!
This is a bad movie from now.
Oh, we gotta watch it. Can't wait.
It's right up there with FDR, like Werewolf Killer or whatever the hell that was called.
The man who killed the Bigfoot and then
No, that looks like an interesting slow-moving movie with Sam Elliott.
Yeah,
this is like Elliott. A 2013 or something one with what the hell's the guy's name from?
See, if you're a vampire hunter and you're also Tim Curry.
No.
Oh, someone worse by default because he was the best person in that. Tim Curry had a stroke.
Spin City, he was the mayor. What the fuck is his name?
Oh,
fuck, I can't remember it.
We'll never remember.
Yeah.
I know who you're talking about, though. He wears glasses a lot.
Yeah.
Okay. Neelix is the I get to be Mike from Red Letter Media. Neelix is in this. He's he's the lawyer guy. He's great. And turns out to be a whole he ends up inheriting everything and then it kind of takes some of the sting out of Emerson being like pulling out his giant adding machine and putting on his glasses and being like let's go or whatever. So that's fine. I like that. Running around, inside voice, outside voice, patio seating at a cafe voice, and then he finds his way to not yell or not whisper or something like that. That's funny. That's fine. Whatever.
Patio seating.
Yeah, whatever she said. She said something where I was like, that's actually. I'm not laughing, but I want to acknowledge that was funny.
There are some witty lines across the board in Pushing Daisies, and I enjoy the level of attention and how things are delivered. But yes, not only does the joke land where I'm laughing out loud, but it is always respected.
It reminds me of Cheers in that way, where I realized I've never laughed almost ever at Cheers, but I used to watch it and enjoy it thoroughly. It just felt like a comfortable thing where I enjoyed the dialogue and Norm and talk. When they bring the guy back from the dead, I liked that guy too.
Okay.
His whole thing of
being in the chandelier and somehow it sparked the lights back to life.
Well, Ned, we don't know how the magic works exactly, but I love that guy just being that fast talking business from the 80s but old whatever you want to call it type guy. Yeah, the smartest of the bunch. And Ned says 2 words. It's I like you, kid, but you talk too much. And then Emerson's like, you better be the only man that's ever been murdered twice. Or something like that. And he's like, the bellman did it. His whole way of talking. I make sure my wife doesn't get his whole I was into that character. It was nice to swim around in there for a minute.
I like whenever Emerson threatens to kill the dead.
I know.
When he pointed the gun at that mime and the mime starts talking.
And he's like, I'm sorry. Okay, sorry. Got it. Yeah. No, it's so inconsistent but delightful how oh, I'm dead, aren't I? Let's get down to business. Oh, that's it. And some people panic and freak out and do their whole thing.
Yeah, it makes sense, especially depending on how you died.
Yeah. Right, would you have been aware of your death? Or was it quick where you're wait a minute? Or
Yeah.
Because the magician's good, nice trick. I'm glad you brought me back from the dead. We only have a minute. Okay. Anyway,
that's some potent kung fu.
That's some potent kung fu. Oh man. But like we said, so it was then all the convoluted stuff happens, and you find out there's a key party running gag. The bellman, and then he's a bellman, but he's a porter and not a bellman. They were stooping, and he found
bellmen.
This right there, the Orbis Pro Vox, the trophy room where it's the other kind of trophy.
I was hoping for some more interesting in there.
Yeah,
I wanted something did get touched obviously because we heard a noise from a distance.
Yes,
but I like the idea of him touching something, getting startled, falling back, touching other things. There's trying to shove them back into their spots. Not that I think that wife would even notice if the stuffed animals were moved.
Right. There was an opportunity for comedy there, but I think with their budget or their vision or whatever, I really enjoyed the the off screen, and then he's back, and I think its face was in a different position. I think so, right?
I'm gonna go out on a limb here and say that this confirms my suspicions that you can't die once you've been touched. Because these things have no organs, so they would instantly die.
I don't know.
How would you kill something that has no organs?
You obviously don't die from whatever killed you, but it's magic, so I don't know how the whole thing works.
I think nothing can kill you after that.
I think then the show has a problem, though.
Why is that?
Which it might even know about, because Chuck is constantly in various types of danger, and they've kind of gotten away from it, right? Because it might be ridiculous or whatever.
My thought is potentially she has no ability to heal, though, either. So if she just fell and busted her face, it might be busted forever.
They've chosen to ignore this or whatever.
Doesn't mean you can't feel pain or know. There's also been no test to prove the theory. And only the Pie Maker saw this, and he seems to be oblivious to certain things anyway.
Yeah.
So
it's something that they're kind of
it's kind of like death right now. I don't know that I'm not allergic to poison, or I don't know that poison would kill me, but I know that it could, so I shouldn't test it. Type of world.
No. I know that the show kind of ignores this whole element, though. It's not something that's used or like
no, they don't
de-used
expressively, like, he never performed like Frankensteinian Nazi tests.
He should have,
but
anyone else would have.
But I would say this is the closest to confirmed, I will say, through random things we've received so far.
Yes, but then that ruins certain episodes where her being like, you know what I'm saying?
No, but it doesn't.
Like, why are we worried about her or something like that?
Since he's never, like, these are just facts that I believe to be true in reality.
Yeah.
Like, much like before we knew about gravity, there still was gravity, but we didn't know about it. So, like, just because she can't be hurt, she doesn't know she can't be hurt.
No, I know.
And even if I told you,
I think that they should know these things or something.
But how
like
would
that.
they know?
You might want to do tests even if you haven't. Now that you have like a permanent house guest who's in this like state.
But what I mean is how,
or maybe stuff's happened with Digby or something like that. I don't know. It's clearly something that the show.
It's not an easy thing to even do tests with.
I know.
Because
it's clearly something, though, that the show is not really concerned about. So I don't think we as the audience have to be concerned about it.
They would never want to go out on a limb and say these things because, like you said, it would eliminate the...
It would be like a mess. So they're just like, hey, man, go with it. It's
yeah,
fine.
we're not going to explicitly say, but I would say that this is as concrete as we've gotten so far.
Okay.
I know you don't want this.
No, I don't want to have the discussion at all. I'm like, I don't know what words that I can say that will end this conversation rather than protract it or whatever.
You can say you're right, 100%.
No,
it's proven. Thank God you got this. Called it.
I never thought we should have tried to prove it or like disprove it.
I think
the show doesn't seem interested in it or whatever.
Well, no, they're not. But again, because the show is not about that, there'd be no way of actually testing this unless he brought a human back for more than a minute, caused someone else to die, and then tried to kill that person. So like,
I know.
So you can see why it's not explicitly tested, and I understand that. But I think that
But even like the dialogue that the characters exchange is not designed to like have us come to one conclusion or the other. This is not a show about like
all the dialogue.
If this was like Buffy the Vampire Slayer or like some other show where a character or like how on like Doctor Who, what's his name? Captain Jack Harkness?
Harkness.
That's a weird name. It's like very explicit what his limitations and like how it works is because that's kind of what it's about. It's like a sci-fi show in that way.
Well, because that's also purposely spelled out.
Yeah.
And here, even to address all the previous dialogue that hasn't called anything out, we could assume that they don't know anything yet about these things, because again, no tests were done. And up until this exact episode, we hadn't seen a thing happen with a dead quite that way. Or even no, we have though.
No, there've been a bunch of dead people that have things.
No, not
like
to say
permanently wrong with them or whatever.
But with your thing of it's magic.
It is in fact.
No, but
magic.
what I'm saying is, if you brought someone, this was part of my original argument was if you can bring someone back to life that has a hot poker through their brain, obviously they're now immortal, because what's going to kill you if that doesn't kill you? Aside from
but how are they able to
again?
like form full sentences if part of their head is missing?
That's the magic.
Okay, but that's what I'm saying. Is like it doesn't work in like physicality, real like things. It's like a fake.
I just
magic
thought back
thing.
of the time he laid down on a bearskin rug, and that has even less of a body structure. So
and we had this exact same discussion back then.
I forgot about that one.
And I'm still like, yes, whatever, it's fine.
Now you have some need for
what would
it not
the difference
to be immortal.
be? I don't know what it is.
Well,
I don't know
what the difference would be how I would approach things if I were her. But again, the same thing.
That's either way. It's not happening in the show. The show's about
not yet.
The show's
There's
about
still another episode to go.
The show's about love and fun and stuff like that. And like I think the answer is some writer thought that the bearskin rug would be like a funny gag.
Exactly. That's a problem we have a lot of TV show things is that there's not consistent writing staff.
And some other writer thought that it would be funny to have to have him dodge a polar bear for a few seconds or whatever off camera.
Sure.
It's not really something that the show it's not like Star Trek where you like devote the episode to exploring how something works.
But there are even to use Star Trek as an example, there's definitely things that are not explicitly expressed but are known reasons or at least debated about outside.
Yes,
in
every
the canon.
show has like kooky things or whatever. And like whether the show gets around to exploring it or not, I'm just saying this is not the type of show where that's the thing. The show
and I've never been one to say
that
this is what the show is expressly saying. What I'm saying is that I think based on all the things that we have seen, these things are known to be true.
Whatever, that's fine.
I know.
I have no opinion about it. Would be like arguing about how vampirism doesn't work properly in like a romance novel where it's only about sexy vampires and like that's not the point at all or whatever.
Disagree.
Okay, that's fine. We obviously disagree on this. It's fine.
Yes. So to continue on, where are we at?
Well, if the case is more or less wrapped up, like I don't know how much more we can say about who's guilty or how they do their thing, right, or whatever here.
Yeah, it's just the Robin Hood guy stealing fucking money.
Like Olive goes undercover as a weird Zsa Zsa Gabor person with a pet pig.
Yeah, I kind of like that.
I did like that. That's why I was like, I should call that out, I guess.
It was a worthwhile scene, and like the pig dragging her along in that scene, and how on the nose she is about saying everything.
Yeah, and how like the guy says, "Did you just say psych out loud?" And he's like, "Nope." Something like that, all that dumb stuff, telemarketing or whatever. Yeah. A lot of this, though, dovetails into the ants and all that stuff. Yeah, they go back to her old old room. I said apartment there.
Yeah, where she has a hidden box in the vent.
It's hooked up to the Victrola downstairs. Like, okay, it's amazing.
Oh, I was talking about the box of stuff, but yeah, she has that also.
She has like a hidden whatever thing. So she's like, don't worry, no one will sneak up on us, because she has a thing on like a tin can with a string on it or whatever.
Yeah, that's how I used to listen in on things.
Yeah,
her room has been turned into a cheese locker.
Yeah.
That's
they love cheese, Stefan. It's amazing.
Yeah, it brings back all the fond memories for
Chuck. He makes a silly comment like it's nice that they used your room for something that both of you love or whatever. I'm like, oh, it's fine.
Yeah, that's a dumb comment.
But a lot of this, in this episode we briefly revisit to remind the audience, like, Ned does not want to bring back Chuck's dad. Ned is like, listen, I had a similar thing with my mom. I had her for 7 hours, but it's still horrible. You'd have to watch him die all over again. It's going to be this awkward introduction followed by a brief reunion and then like a repeat of his death. I can't do that.
And in a previous episode, he was saying how he's like the last time I took your father away, it was an accident. Now I would be physically killing him right in front of you. Like, that's something I don't want to do.
And he's like, I don't know if you'll be able to look at me the same way afterwards, even if you think you can. Let's just not do it.
And he offers to throw away his whole life. He's like, we could just run away. We could just get the fuck out of here. And I'm like, that's nice.
Well, so that's where it goes. So Stephen Root, actually Dwight is his character's name. We're going to start saying Dwight. Dwight continues to lay the groundwork. The narrator makes it seem like he's really falling in love with the ant. That's interesting. But his hotel room's full of guns, and he has a picture of Chuck now.
I'm not like a humorous amount of guns
everywhere
for jobs that like would never make sense for whatever he might be doing.
And all the guns are permanently laid out, and there's a window right there that you can see. It's this super dumb thing. It's fine.
That's a movie, a show, whatever.
Yeah, you might say it's not worth talking about certain things and if they're realistic or not.
No, it's 100% worth talking about it.
I totally love it. Balloons and ice cream. Oh God, there's an awesome quote. So obviously what we're getting at is that this leads to them digging up Chuck's father.
Yeah.
Where and it ends with that open up the coffin shot.
Yeah.
So it's either empty or he's in there or they're gonna talk to him. I have an empty vibe too. You got that? Interesting. All right, so we'll see, because we'll see where all that goes, on its side. But leading up to that, there's an awesome quote from Ned in the car. They're doing like a stakeout or something like that, and he was like, "This is a very touchy subject for me. People finding out about his powers or whatever, because then because she's Chuck says, what's the worst that could happen?" And then he's like, "You end up getting dissected," and he ends up going to some sideshow or something. all these dumb things, and Ned's like, and then Ned is like, "This is a touchy subject for me. I've always been afraid if people would find out what I can do. It starts with balloons and ice cream, and then it ends in a small white room where they cut pieces out of me until there's nothing left to cut." And both the other characters and me are both like, "Whoa, that's so dark, dude. Damn." And it's like, shit.
So, do you have any predictions
about Ned being cut apart in a small white room?
Anything going forward based on what we have now and what may be happening?
Are we done with talking about what happened?
If you have anything else you want to talk about,
I think we're done. You don't? We're good?
No, I don't have anything.
Then yeah. Not off the top of my head, do you have any predictions?
I have a dumb one.
You go. Perfect.
Where I think that Ned's dad also has the power. Ned's dad touched Chuck's dad, and they're off somewhere else right now.
Interesting. You think it runs in the family?
Potentially.
Let's think of this.
It's as dumb as anything else.
So let's think this through. Let's do it. Let's have it happen. So maybe Ned's father does have the power. Maybe his sons died under various circumstances, and he had to bring them back to life and then leave their lives forever because he couldn't risk ever touching them and killing them again.
It's not.
We did it, boys. We figured it out. Even if the show doesn't end like that, that's now what I think the headcanon is, because that's the only thing that'll reunite father and son, and it's the only thing that'll justify him abandoning all those kids all those times.
Except for the fact that they have gone on to age a lot.
We don't know how it works as magic. I don't know. We'll see. Fuck. I don't know.
My thought is that you don't age, and I will cite Digby's hair color.
Digby is still and still being alive or whatever, right? Yeah.
Well, yes. But even if you even if you didn't die,
Yeah.
like he even if he was immune to dying of natural causes, which he already is, but he was aging. If we were to presume the kids actually got touched, they wouldn't have aged because Digby hasn't aged.
Right.
So
I still think they can try to make the theory work because it's so perfect narratively. Because what else is going to be the explanation for why he left? Probably something boring with the army or something. That sucks.
Well, I don't even think they were actually in the army.
Right? What do you think?
I think it's a scam. I think they're like treasure hunters or profiteers or something.
Sure. Well, yeah, like we were kind of the good guys, kind of the bad guys. Yeah. Why do you think he wants to get all his pocket watches together?
I think they open something up.
I was just going to say, do you think they slot into an ancient temple that has 3 holes and he turns them and then a big thing slides
happens,
open?
Or
yep, that's
there's
hilarious.
Like a direction, or there's like 2 numbers to a safe on each one.
Like a map, you put the things or something. You slot them into things and then the sunlight shines through holes in them.
Small prediction, we'll never know.
Oh, God, you're right. We don't have enough time to figure all this out. I think Season 2 is a little longer than Season 1. So instead of being 9 or 10, I think it's 12, 13 or something like that.
Oh, okay.
But we're still in a bit of a crunch. We're still getting...
I thought it was
7.
like 9 and 9.
I want to say that I remember that. I haven't checked it, though, for this.
Yeah, we'll find out soon enough.
Either way, we have single-digit number of episodes left.
Yeah.
And unless they pivot away from spending 2/3 minimum on, like, whatever the case is... which they wouldn't do unless they knew they were being canceled and they had to wrap up the plot.
I don't know if they knew.
I know, right? So this is we were in dire situation. I feel like for this show.
All right, guys, that was this episode of Pushing Daisies. Let us know in the comments below what you thought about it. Don't die in a fire, and we'll see you next time.
Hello, internets. I just love watching JustDaggers. If you've enjoyed this video as much as I have, click that subscribe button. Peace out, homies.